Youth Runner magazine here at Santiago High School with their distance medley relay team. Incredible time, 11:37:35 at the Nike Indoor Nationals. Incredible. We got Rylee Blade, we have Taylor Davis, we have Nicole Samson, and we have Braelyn Combe. Congratulations, girls. Why don't you tell us about your leg of the race? Rylee, you ran the 1200, Taylor the 4, Nicole the 8, and Braelyn the 16. So, and then I'll ask some general questions. So, Rylee, tell us about your leg of that 1200 there.
Yeah, I had the 1200 leg, and I kind of knew with having the 5K in my legs from the day before that I needed to be a little bit conservative the first bit. So when the girl took it out, I kind of knew that I just had to keep her in sights and just reel her back in, and then try and create a little bit of a gap to give it to Taylor to position her well.
Okay, so there was a gap, but for the first handoff there. Okay.
I ran the 400 leg, and it's not my typical race, so I just had the goal of keeping the lead or at least staying in the front, and obviously giving Nicole the best position possible. So yeah.
I had the 800 meter leg. I was just going into it wanting to run the fastest 800 I could to help my team. So when I got the baton, I just started off strong, hopefully trying to increase my pace each lap, and getting Braelyn the best position I could for her mile.
So I got the baton in the lead for the 1600, and the girl from South Lake came on to me pretty close, or pretty quick. She came on to me, and so I kind of realized that it was going to have to be a really tactical race, and so just trying to hold the lead, but also race smart so that when it came down to a kick, I could be in I could have a lot of energy at the end. And when Addie came and took the lead, it was kind of the perfect not distraction, but kind of gave us someone to sit on. So then when it came to the last lap, I just tried to stay in a good position to try and outkick for the win.
Okay, so she took the lead. So you fell behind with about a lap in that third lap, or
I think probably 1200-ish, maybe
right.
Maybe 1400 meters. Addie came and took the lead, and so
okay.
then the South Lake girl went with Addie, and then I just.
So you were third. You were third at one point.
At some point I was in third, and then going to the last lap, I just tried to outkick her and Addie.
Now you showed me a photo earlier, still photo of your handoff, the last handoff. What was it? Looking at it, it looked a little like an awkward handoff. Did you know it was at the time, or is that not something you look at later? I'm like, ooh, wow, that was a little closer than it should have been.
I felt super uncomfortable, but I think I just wanted to get it super fast. I don't know why I went into 4x8 mode. I forgot it was the whole mile, but I just wanted to get it as fast as possible and try and start fast. But then I realized okay, I have 8 laps right now. It's not an 800. So then I kind of realized after I could have been a little bit more calm with the handoff. But yeah, it was a little close. I think I had 2 fingers on the baton. It was the rest of my hand was hanging off. It was really bad, but we're working on our handoffs so that won't happen again.
So, was there a goal in mind for a time in this race, or?
I don't think so. I think we made a goal from the start of the probably a few months back, saying that we wanted to win it. So I think that was our goal.
Okay, you wanted to win, and okay.
Yeah, we kind of.
Was it always going to be this lineup? Well, I guess our
lineup changed so many times. They switched, we switched.
Yeah. Right. But you were running the 12 because you had just run the 5K, which we'll get to in a little bit. So, did the time surprise you then?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It was 20 seconds faster than our actual time coming in.
All right. Okay. Now, had you run as a group before previously, or just in a workout, or no? No. Because Nicole, you weren't.
Us three have, but she was on her sit-out period. So this is our first DMR all together, our first ever relay, which we're going to have a lot of relays between the 4 of us, so it was just super exciting. And I think we definitely weren't expecting that time because it was only 2 seconds off the national record, but it was just exciting, and I think it just got us excited to realize okay, this is our the first big meet that we've been to in the season. So just to come on to that, knowing we were that close to a national record, it just got us super excited for the rest of the season.
I know the DMR is not something. It's not it's not a big race in that it's not run at CIF. But how many more times do you think you'll get a chance to run it? Any thoughts? I know in a couple weeks you will again.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 more times. Yeah, probably.
I really probably after I really to get the opportunity because I think it's one of my favorite relays. And
even though the 400 is not your you don't normally
that was
run.
my first time running the 400 in the DMR. DMR. But
What's your best race?
usually I do the 800.
The 800. Okay.
Yeah, but I just like that relay in general, and I know there's not very many opportunities, especially like towards the end of the season, to run it.
So how low do you think you can go? I know indoors, outdoors, can be a little different. I don't know what the conditions are like indoors there, but
Yeah, honestly, I think that we could take possibly another 5 seconds or so off, because especially if we're all, like, if I come in on fresh legs, I think that personally for me, I could take another few seconds off,
Oh, right,
which would
right.
help the overall team time. And then even outdoor tracks are usually a little bit faster than indoor tracks, so I feel like we could probably take about 5 seconds off.
I think also I could take that up to another. I think Rylee ran 4:42. I think in the whole mile for like the same weekend. I think if we figure out what events we're really the best at, and position ourselves differently, if that's something that could improve our time, I think honestly we could probably cut off at least 10 seconds. Honestly, like I don't think any of us have ran like close to our PR, so I think it could definitely be.
so you think 10 seconds could
I
be
think-
knocked off at that
yeah.
time,
Doesn't
the
matter because
11:37.
That was kind of like, it's still really early on in the season, and the 5K was my individual opener, and these are basically almost openers of a fast time, because we had relays before Nike Indoor, but we were never being pushed. So it was our first real team relay being pushed.
So, and the other interesting aspect in all this is that California teams don't usually do that well indoors because there's no indoor season here, right? You maybe go to a couple indoor meets, but these other states, right, they have a whole indoor season and they're doing several meets, and this is towards the culmination, right, of their season. And so did that sort of surprise you in some ways, because you're going against a lot of these teams that have had a long indoor season, whereas you're just sort of beginning your outdoor season more or less?
Yeah, I knew a lot of us had really good base trainings and training leading up to that point, so I knew that we would have a shot, but I think that we really did surprise ourselves with the time.
Yeah.
So is there anything you think that now I guess, so potentially if you ran it again, you could, Braelyn and Rylee, you could swap, because I think you've done that before. And
Swap the entire
and you think Taylor and Nicole, you could swap too, or yeah.
And I think just the race in general, everyone could have shaved off a few more seconds
Yeah.
if we run it later in the season. So adding all that time up, I think we could definitely improve by a lot.
I think if we, I can't speak for all of us. I think we do all think that our time, if you just take it individually, not even as a split, just if we ran it individually in a race, I don't think any of us would have been 100% content with our splits, So that just makes me really excited about, what we could do later on if we run closer to our PRs, or a time that you could tell us 3 months in the future, oh, you're going to run this time, we'd get excited about that,
So if you weren't 100% content with your splits, 80% content with your splits, 70%? What do you think?
80, 85.
80, 85. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I was 6, so I feel happy with the conditions, but overall time, I'm hoping for a lot more.
Okay. What about you, Nicole?
I definitely want to run a lot faster, but considering I'm just off of base and this was my first actual race, I think I'm content enough with my time, but I'm definitely ready to improve and help my team further.
I think, and I think we also just, raced very tactically, Taylor said she was sick, but she also held for, to be racing an actual 400 runner, she maintained, that gap, and that was really smart, and we all kind of just raced a smart tactical race, and I think if we ran with the goal of a fast time, that could, we could all run a lot faster than that.
Did the competition help too?
Yes, for sure.
You said because you were pushed at the last lap, right,
Yes.
Braelyn? So
Yeah,
did that,
for sure.
yeah.
Considering that we were running in hopes to win, we weren't necessarily going for a time.
Right.
So we kind of just were following off the pace of who was near us, and I think
Yeah.
that's why we were shocked by the time and why we can also improve it, because if that's our goal, I think we could run it pretty fast.
I think one of my 200s was 39, and then my last 200 was 31. So that just kind of shows how, the pace was very inconsistent for how tactical the race was.
Gotcha. Right. If you're running on your own, that's going to be
Yeah.
completely different splits.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, girls. I appreciate it. Good luck this season.
Thank you.